Hello, welcome to the lesson. Today we're going to talk about Cloud SQL and how to connect into Cloud SQL external outside the GCP with the Java application, like our Spring Boot application. First thing we're going to do, we're going to create our SQL database. Okay, let's create an instance. Very simple. We're going to call it these instance TD. I'm going to call it MySQL DB container. Take out a space. You're going to define a root password. Okay, and let's go into create it. Takes a while. Okay, now I'm gonna enable the Cloud Shell. That's I'm going to check something later. And in a while I'm gonna show just one thing. Just gonna check something. Echo dev shell underscore project underscore ed. This is the following var. Okay, I'm gonna show the configuration of the project, but what basically I use in this project. Okay, one thing. It's basically Maven Project. Okay, I'm gonna open the POM with the notepad wherever I don't need the NetBeans, whatever. So in this case, I'm using the cloud config and GCP starter, also MySQL. This dependency already brings the socket factory. All the other things I have the boot starter for web, actuator, which is, I think it's deprecated, but I'm gonna remove that later. Okay, I'm using Spring rest, JPI, wherever, Swagger, Longbook, and okay. And for my dependency management, I have to have a reference for the Cloud GCP dependencies. And here is the plugin for running, for deploying, when I deploy the Spring Boot thing. And here the special repository for the Swagger 3.0 version, or still snapshot. Just checking that. Okay. Next thing, what we have? Well, we have a YAML file. Okay, reload it. Just a simple YAML file. I have here defined two active profiles. So I have this gonna load the GCP folder. Yes, reload it. Here I have references for the cloud and the SQL. You can see I create MySQL DB container. Is my project TD. If you remember, project TD has to match. Can close it. Yes, and here is how I connect to the Cloud SQL using a socket factory. Socket factory, okay. Actually, I don't like to use the MVars right here. It's just an example. I often use in JZipped for that, the encryptation of JZipped. Okay, I can close it. Can close this too. This is just a banner with my name. Yeah, here is the Bootstrap part where I have a key JSON file, a reference to the project TD, and these things are I defined previously. I can remove anyway. This key JSON file, how do I get this key JSON file? I'm gonna explain it later. So here, once it start, now I have a SQL. Once it start, runs the project, it loads this schema. I think I can show where it's pointed. 1 second, main resources. Let's check. I think so. Yeah, here. Yeah, on the starter initializing mode, always. So it's gonna load this schema file. You have some data to insert, you can create a data file. Okay, it's creating. So how are we going to get the key JSON file? It's pretty simple. You're going to run the gcloud out application default login. So in this case, if you run this command, yes, you confirm that. You're going to this URL. You're going to confirm. Gives you allow it. You get this key. So you come here and data verification code, it generates you the JSON. So here you can get, this is the key JSON file for the login stuff. You can see already my instance is created. Since I'm using the socket factory, I need a database for that. How it's called my database, in case my guy is called marketplace. I'm gonna create a marketplace database. Okay, connections. After you're gonna check here the connections. Okay, leave it on overview. So now I think you can, and we are able to run the application. So I'm gonna to on the folder springboot.run. As I do much trust myself, I'm gonna leave it running. Here I can close it, which was, it's already the address. Let's leave right here. Still running. I have no rush at all for that. It's another thing we can close. I was doing previously. Takes just a little bit of time. Now looks like it's perfectly initializing. It's nice. This okay. I just make a success thing. Okay, get failure to certificate the cloud instance. Let's check. I'm gonna run in. I'm gonna check what happened. Oh, it's not nice to view the logs like this. Okay. Account has been deleted. Okay, gonna run using Eclipse right now, just to double check that. All right, let me check everything. It's correct. I have US Central on my MySQL container. My database is marketplace, socket factor, the GCP, project it is correct. Also here banner, okay. So the key JSON file apparently is the same. Let's just check. Oh, we can get this. Let's save it. Run as Java application. Create all those bins. Socket connecting. Oh, I'm trusting right now. Looks like it started. Well, great. Was the JSON generates a refresh token differently. Great. Actually, I have to know how to fix everything now. Just going to try on the fly all of this. I'm gonna write just something here. Part description. I'm gonna call it uh, business travel. Part now I'm gonna just put some data. Price height. I'm gonna put 100. Content 20. Let's execute that. Make sure all APIs are running. Okay, have also this API. I can double check. And I do use HATOAS, as you can see, the self links, wherever you can check that over here. You get a response. Okay, now we're gonna double check that on the shop. This is a nice way to connect to SQL, just Cloud SQL, in case MySQL could be PostgreSQL. You see that's important, the token. So now you're going to check our database here. You know why? You're going to insert more data. Call it business trip. Okay, let's execute that to get all this list. I have 2 items, whatever. Let's put the password here. Now we connect it to MySQL. Can show databases. I want to use my marketplace, so use marketplace. Show tables. Gonna check while we just have that. Here's the data we just inserted that using an external application connected to the Cloud SQL. If I, for example, was inside the Google Cloud using App Engine or Kubernetes or a Cloud Run, I can even show from here Cloud Run, which is you can use a Spring Boot application, but you have to have a Docker file. You have to deploy using a Docker container image. And I can also use the socket, but I do prefer use the Cloud SQL proxy. But it's another thing. Anyway, this is the end of the lab. How simple it is to connect from outside the GCP into Cloud SQL, the external application. Thanks for watching, and this is the end of the lab.